In this video, I'll talk about the latest real estate statistics for the Cedar Park housing market. What everyone is asking me about, if the market is crashing, will we see more foreclosures, and advice for buyers and sellers. I'm Eric Peterson, broker and owner of Copa Real Estate and a Cedar Park homeowner. If you'd like to see more information like this, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and leave a comment about what you'd like to see me talk about for the Cedar Park housing market. Now first, let's get into the market statistics for Cedar Park in July 2021. 150 homes were sold in Cedar Park, which was down 6.3% from the 160 sales last year and 157 sales in 2019. The average sales price was up almost 50% to $572,277. The average dollars per square foot for sold homes was up to $235.47, up 42.7% from last year. The median price was $526,050, up 53.6% from last year. There were 9 more homes sold for over $1 million in Cedar Park in July. That makes 17 of the 41 homes that have ever sold and recorded in the Cedar Park MLS for $1 million or more have been sold in the last 2 months. So the average and median prices were actually down from June due to more homes being sold at $400,000 or below. In June, only 6 homes were sold below $400,000, but in July we had 27 homes that sold for under $400,000 or under. 7 of those homes were smaller condos. Many of these homes were being sold by investors cashing in on the market. Buyers still need to act fast to snatch up one of these homes, as 12 of those sales were sold as cash transactions. As a reminder, if you're a landlord and you want to sell your home, we do have many investors we work with who are ready to buy a home in any condition. In 2020, the highest price sale in June was for $840,000. And in July 2021, there were 17 home sales above $840,000. On average, homes sold in July for 8% over list price, which was down from 12% over list price in June. As inventory increases, we may see that number moderate more. There are currently 80 homes for sale in Cedar Park that are not under contract. That's a big increase from the days earlier in the year when I would run a search and there were only 5 homes for sale. For homes that closed in July, the average number of days before going under contract was 8. Homes that are currently for sale have an average number of days on the market of 26, which is up from 14 days when I did the July market update. Now for July, the lowest priced home sold in Cedar Park was a home in Shenandoah for $290,000. The highest priced home sold was in Bella Vista, which sold for $1,355,000. And the smallest home sold was that same home in Shenandoah at 1,076 square feet. And the largest home sold was in Rancho Brushy Creek at 4,856 square feet. The home that sold for the lowest dollars per square foot was in Heritage Park, although it still sold for $60,000 over asking price. And the home that sold for the highest dollars per square foot was a home in Caballo Ranch that sold for $235,000 over asking price. So if you're planning to sell, you would benefit from attending one of our upcoming free online home selling seminars. See dates and sign-ups at copaworkshop.com. Let's talk about the market crashing. Is the market crashing? Almost every day, someone tells me the market is going to crash. Now, of course, someone's been telling me for the last 6 years. Now, real estate is a cyclical business, so eventually we will see a downturn in the market. However, when someone tells me the market's going to crash, I like to ask what that means to them. So let me know what you think. If my home is worth $800,000 today and the market crashes, what will my home be worth? And when will that be? What date? What will my home also be worth in 5 years? And how about 10 years? So no one's ever really been able to give me an answer to those questions. No, the market is not crashing. However, we are seeing the market calming in some areas and price ranges. So whether you're buying or selling, it's important to know what that means for you. Why is this happening? Well, we do know why prices have risen so dramatically this year. It's because there have been so few homes for sale. That's no secret. When a home is called active, it means it's not under contract. You could actually buy that house. So 2 years ago at this time of the year, there were over 7,000 homes you could buy in the Austin MLS. By January of 2021, there were barely over 1,000 homes for sale. As I write this in early August, there were 3,752 active homes for sale. So that's still a low number of homes for sale, but significantly more than we had in January. So there's no doubt that will affect the perceptions buyers have in this market. The extra price buyers were willing to pay that I described as whipped cream on the ice cream sundae was a result of buyers fearing they could never find another home to buy. So time will tell how buyers react when they realize they may have a few extra choices. As the number of active listings is increasing, the average number of days it takes for a home to sell is also increasing. Now, by no means is this a disaster. At a local presentation or a presentation for a local builders group, an economist compared our market as going from super seller's market to only a super seller's market. So some buyers are thinking the tide has turned and the market is dropping. Well, we put 2 homes on the market this weekend and both have multiple offers. So in my opinion, the market is still excellent for sellers, but there are some changes you should be aware of. Many buyers are going to confuse the market going from 40 to 50% appreciation to perhaps a more normal appreciation market and not understand that that still means prices are going up. There may be less competition for each home, but price appreciation momentum slowing doesn't mean the market is crashing. Now, why are we seeing an increase in active listings? In part, we normally see an increase in listings during the summer, but I believe what's happening is more than our typical seasonality. Over the past few weeks, the rate of growth has begun to slow, and fewer buyers are even seeking mortgages to purchase homes. Rental rates have gone up dramatically, indicating many buyers have put their home search on pause or decided to rent first when buying when they've been relocated. Anecdotally, we've noticed a decrease in the number of agents doing FaceTime tours on our listings and a decrease in the number of buyers expecting they will need to pay 20% over asking price on every listing. So don't interpret that to mean people aren't still relocating here. At this time, we have 4 listings under contract to buyers who are relocating. And our open houses last weekend were full of people moving here from all over the country, not just California. In part, we're also seeing some homes not selling because the sellers overestimated the market and were overconfident about buyers paying top dollar for anything. Now, this is a quote from a local realtor at one of the real estate Facebook groups describing what she's seeing in the market. Agents not prepping listings, just putting crap on the market at top dollar. My buyers aren't going for that. Fueled by stories of sellers getting 97 offers and buying without any inspection, it's understandable why this can happen. Now, many homes can still be sold as is with no make-ready necessary, but it's important to think about the buyer profile for your home before putting it on the market. It's also important you have a listing agent who's actively working in the market and can give you advice based on what's happening in the market on a daily basis, not what happened 4 months ago. The buyer pool is still strong enough to keep the housing market strong, but when there are more homes to choose from, you can expect buyers to be a little pickier. So what's the good news? Well, the number one question I'm asked is, I want to sell my home, but then what do I do? There aren't any homes to buy. So the good news is we may now have the answer. All of our sellers who decided to burn their boats and put their home on the market this year have landed in a much better place. Now, I expect the same would happen for you. Give us a call if you've been holding off until there were more homes to buy. In addition to the inventory of homes increasing, the builders are also selling homes again. And because we help so many people downsize, I'm especially excited about a new 1,000-home active adult community that's about to start selling for new home delivery in early 2022. This will be a popular product, so you'll want to get on the VIP buyer list right away. Something else people ask me about is if we expect there to be more foreclosures. With the eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearances ending soon, the knee-jerk reaction is to say we'll see a flood of foreclosures. And I'm not making light of the fact that some people will definitely be in trouble and we will see a rise in foreclosures. But you tell me where the mass foreclosures are going to come from. This is a chart of 20 random sales taken from Cedar Park in May. And I like to look at the down payment buyers are making. If I see lower down payments, that would put buyers in a greater risk of being foreclosed on if we see a small drop in the market. We would need to see foreclosures for the market to truly crash. The larger down payments here indicate you'd have to see a large drop in prices to see foreclosures with these homes that were purchased even a couple of months ago. Not to mention all the other homes whose equity has dramatically increased in the last year. In addition, the big difference between today and 2008 is the lack of risky loans in the market today. Now, we know some people will be in a bad situation in the next few months. And if that is you or one of your friends, contact us before it's too late for a no-pressure consultation. Now, here's our advice for sellers and buyers. We've just been hired by two sellers whose home didn't sell. Both told me the similar story, that they thought the market was so good that they could hire their friend who works part-time and lives in Dripping Springs as their agent. And now that their home wasn't selling, they realized that that isn't going to cut it in the current market. Small changes in the market can make a huge difference. And when you are choosing a listing agent, make sure you ask yourselves if they have the skills to navigate your home sale. Will they know what to do if your home doesn't sell the first weekend? Now, for buyers, now's not the time to give up. This may be your best opportunity to buy a home with less competition. That still doesn't mean it isn't a competitive environment for great homes. I expect over the next 10 years, your risk isn't paying $5,000 too much for a home. Your greatest risk is doing nothing and then being forced to buy a home later, 30 miles from where you really want to live. Where are our clients moving to? With so many people moving here, it's easy to forget where people are moving when they sell. And here's where some of our seller clients have moved to recently. Montana, Houston, Seattle, 2 families, San Diego, 2 clients, Belton, Treviso, Nashville, and Leander. 2 of our seller clients decided to rent short term so that they've got a flexibility while they figure out what to do with the rest of their lives. That's a pretty good position to be in right now. My favorite location are our clients that are moving to Cancun as soon as they retire. I wish I could go with them. All of this is interesting in my opinion. Of course, I could be wrong about all of this. As always, be careful about where you're getting your information. Make sure you're consulting with a qualified advisor. We don't want you to make a bad decision because you had bad information. If there's any real estate related questions we can answer for you, contact us today. I'll continue updating you on the Cedar Park housing market. If you have any questions for me, leave a comment below or reach out to me directly. I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I appreciate your support.